Word. It was just outstanding play from Samoa. Palapoi, now of the Curry Club in Scotland. You'll know him down in Exeter, formerly with Chiefs. Samoa. Over all the way through there. There's Lawrence who got across Galalio. But they've kept possession for Atau. Into trouble. They're coming in to do their part. Wilkie again. This is where the hard graft goes. England have got that one back. Dawson. Back goes Vili. Mark Cole. And Goodman. I think at the moment England want to keep the ball in their hands, don't they?
Just thinking that, Nigel. At last, Samoa turn one over. What do? We kick it straight back to them.
Out just beyond the 22. Mark Regan here. Next Bristol, Bath. Leeds Dykes now. Off the shoulder. Is it number 5, Lafaili?
Go back, please. Go back, please. England go back.
Not straight what the referee said. Scrum down to Samoa.
Thought he was about to penalise their second row, but not straight. Can't afford that either. England make a bit of a mess of the Samoan scrum, but they've retained possession. So Ayalo. That's a big kick. That's superb. Well, good things come in little packages.
I told he could play a bit. Really impressed me last week. He's not only a goal kicker, he really can play.
Well, Rob Andrew will know this man. He had him on loan for a month at Newcastle. Over That was when Wilkinson was on duty. Needed some cover. England drive. It's with Neil back at the back. Being shepherded along by Matt Dawson. His first cap was against Samoa in '95. Didn't go like this. If you just joined us here, Melbourne's the setting. Samoa, England. Samoa lead 10-0. Plenty of time. Only 11 minutes gone. And penalty against Samoa. Something like the legs of the ball carrier from Jonathan Kaplan. Not sure what he meant by that.
Thinking what will Johnson do here. He's gone for safety, he's gone for the goal kick. Thought he might go to the corner and try and get some rhythm established, but he hasn't.
Well, I guess if you've got this in your armoury, you use it whenever it's reasonable. Let's see why we can judge why the penalty was given. Not really. Mr. 100%, here he is. 105 points, first Englishman to get 100 in the World Cup. And he ain't missed yet. Hope I'm not putting the Indian side on him. 740 for England. We could do with this one now. Just inside the England half. It's well struck, but it's a miss. Well, it has to be a miss sometime. Nothing to do with nerves, because that guy doesn't get nervous. Just adds a little to the tension there. Samoa. First international was back in 1924 against Fiji. This is Jason Robinson's first touch of the night. So too Ian Balshaw. They're closing them down. That's Big Ben Cohen. Snared. And still back with Dawson. Wilkinson running out of men out wide. There's only is that Julian White out there, but they've got men left now. Robinson in close. Good work by Tyndall, but Samoa closing them down so fast. That was out. They're in their face.
Certainly are, putting massive pressure. on England, and the big hits, as we know, will follow.
Cohen. Still the tackles come in, that time on Tyndall. Belalio. Perhaps he needs to do a bit of taking them on. This is what England begin to do. Ben Kay now. Got to tie them in. And again, we're short-handed outside, England are, and it is. Dawson again going left. Cohen. They don't miss tackles, by and large.
What's happening is now England are forcing the passes, they're taking the tackle, recycling it, steadying the ship. What they're doing is trying to force it out of the tackle. It's a good advantage of Samoan defence, wrapping people up. It's from this, they move wide to the left, and Tyndall tries to force it out. Shouldn't have done.
Well, Clive Woodwards was very open in saying this was no game to write off as a cakewalk. It's certainly starting in dramatic style. Samoa running out of their own 22 again, virtually. Tanavili, the fullback. Robinson in the fullback position tonight, of course. Darts out of one little tackle, with a little will-o'-the-wisp, this man. But even he gets taken to ground. Dawson caught up in it himself. Back comes in to help. So too Tyndall. Now Tyndall acting half-back. Cohen, strange sort of line-up here, and Cohen's really going backwards, not forwards, but managed to retain possession. But there's still the pressure again on Tyndall. Now it's Martin Johnson trying to restore some order. It's not happening. It's just not happening.
Well, they're going backwards at the moment. Can't find any fluency whatsoever. They really do need to steady this down and get their heads clear. I mean, look at this. Cohen's going across, grabbing across, just making himself a target. In this one, they go even further backwards.
Samoa's put in. Stephen So'oalo. Former captain of the Samoan Sevens side. I've seen their tackling throughout the last year in the Sevens circuit. They are the big hitters. And they're keeping their discipline too. This is Terry Fanalua again. He's not averse to taking people on head first. Scrum half again. Va'a. Further wide to Tomuli. 19.5 stone of him.
Defence was good, but it's a Samoan scrum. They've still got the ball. A bit of argy-bargy there between two number 9s.
That's the halfway line. It's Julian White. Got an injury, one of the Samoan forwards. Well, perhaps a little break here in England's favour. Chance for Martin to give them a little wake-up call. Lafayali. Come from 7 different countries, the clubs which these Samoans play for, and this man is one of the players in Japan. And of course, as Steve Smith was saying earlier, they travel the world, they tout their trade far and wide to get a decent living. There's no professional rugby in Samoa, of course, a little tiny group of islands where they don't even have a club championship. But my word, they make their mark in the world game. And don't forget they're without a couple of hard men in this squad. Trevor Leota, George Harder, Henry Tuilangi. They're making their mark tonight. So'oalo. Savalu couldn't grab it. England have it. Dawson. Now puts a bit of order. Tyndall. Wilkinson had gone into the midfield. Cleverly spotted by Neil Back. Nearly getting away down the short side, but the ball's been turned over by Samoa. Over making room, finds a gap. tearing his way through the England defence. It's that sense of adventure out of their own 22, the self-confidence that we're seeing as well, to take England on.
Typical, isn't it, the South Sea Islanders? Just give it a crack, we've got now to lose. Don't kick it away, let's run it back at England. Let's do what we're good at. Epitomised by this guy. Yeah, terrific start. Kicking at goal and running out from his own line. And there you see his outstanding strength.
Well, the smallest man, but my word, took a deal of stopping. 31 now, first capped against Ireland some 7 years ago. Had a bit of time in rugby league. Then in England with Richmond, Worcester, briefly Newcastle, L'Aquila in Italy, Wellington in New Zealand. He's done the rounds, he knows the game. Played here in, well, not here, in the World Cup in '99. There's Wilkie, look at the pressure on him. Bang. Tackle of Brian Lima.
Yet again we saw Neil Batts trying to force the ball out of the tackle. Didn't have to do that. All he did was just pass the trouble on to Wilkinson.
About 8 metres outside the Samoan 22. Ball out England's way. Wilkinson. Big crowd urging some reaction from England. That was not a crossing, says referee Kaplan. Robinson did pick that up, he was through, he was gone. But he didn't, and he wasn't.
Ball going down the back line just isn't fluent at all. It's like a medicine ball being passed down there.
And the lineup is different every time, isn't it? There's no sort of discipline somehow outside.
Bolshaw basically just overran Tyndall, left him no option. One thing wrong with these guys is one-on-one, because they're going to hit you here, hit you hard, we know that.
Looks like Jeremy Tomoli has taken a knock. Or is it a bit of maybe a blood wound just out of the picture there? There he is. He plays in France for Colomiers. There's an anxious face, Andy Robinson, Clive Woodward. Well, usually impassive, poker face, but he'll be absorbing this for future games to come. Already lessons to be learned, no doubt, coming to the end of the first quarter of the match. So Oyalo, Elva'a, out of his 22. He's got a boot on him too.
I spoke to Woodward Nigel after the Saturday game. Obviously he was very relieved and blamed some of the handling errors on the tension of the night, and I can agree with him there. But not tonight. They've got to get it together, they've got to do it quickly.
Poor throw. Faasavalu. Basic errors at the moment. And they've got men over here. Fanalua. Poor pass to Vili, the fullback. Stop the momentum of the move. Just as well from England's point of view. Leave it wide. It's Samoa in possession. Trying to rake it back. They have. That's a foot forward. Tomuli in the middle there. This is Elva'a. You can duck beneath most tackles. Advantage is a penalty to Samoa here, and there is offside behind the last line. It's not going right for England here, that's for sure.
I'd say that's within range. Ball coming out. Johnson thought it was out. Referee spotted him. I would say that this is within his range. He's certainly going for it.
He'll have a few apposite words, I think. Martin Johnson there. Well, he's been there, done it. Leicester, England Lions. Not used to this kind of problem. 21 and a half minutes. England 0, Samoa 10. And with one kick, it could be 13. El Va'a. Immaculate game so far. Head on to the post, 42 metres. How about that?